Hey, y'all. So, happy Sunday. Well, Sundays is already done, but happy Sunday, anyways. I just wanted to jump on here real quickly to let you guys know of like an impossible situation that just became possible. So, on a bright September morning on a Friday, I went to the courthouse and I filed my petition to get a divorce. Now, I had a limited amount of time that I was working with, and so I needed, you know, God's hand to move on this one for me. So I know a lot of people, they say, oh, my divorce took 6 months, it took a year, it took 10 years, whatever. But mine got done in 60 days. That's right. So, original petition, I filed it September, September 17th. And long and short of it, just went to the courthouse, printed the paperwork off, signed the paperwork, paid the fee, dropped it off, got the stamp that says file because you have to get that in order for it to be valid. And you do 2 copies. You send one to your spouse and they acknowledge that they got a copy. So basically in Texas, there's a 60-day waiting period where you file the divorce and nothing happens within those 60 days. You just sit and you wait. And so that's what I had to do. But I had other plans, and this thing was getting in the way of those plans. So I was just praying and, just asking God, I need this to be done in 60 days or on the 61st day. And man, I tell you, I had to sign 100 different papers and I had to send them to my spouse. He had to send it back to me. And so in Texas, you have, different kinds of divorce. You have uncontested divorce, which means that both of you agree to everything. You agree to how much you want to pay for child support, or there's already a child support order in place. You agree in terms of how you want to split your property. You agree everything, how you guys want to share custody, everything. So once you have a child, and this is all new information to me. I didn't know, I thought I needed a lawyer. I thought that it was gonna be a long process because a lot of people did tell me, it took them a good while for their divorce to come through. So because we have a child, we have to we have to agree. We have to also, Ladrine, you want to come on for real, or that was an accident? Let me know, because I'm always up for the fun. Let me know if you want to come on for real. But if you have a child, you have to have a child support order in place, or something for custody, which we already had child support order in place. And I can tell you that story afterwards, but this is just a short one to let you know how quickly I got through with this divorce. So I sent all the paperwork to him. He sent it back to me. I filed it at the courthouse. Now there's a resource lawyer that you can meet with. So you have to meet with that lawyer. You have to make sure that all your paperwork is in order. You file the right thing. You sent off the right thing to your spouse. They signed the right thing. You're agreeing to everything that's on the paperwork. Now, what we decided is we're going to have a uncontested divorce. That means I'm not asking him for anything. I don't want anything from him. He doesn't want anything from me. And we're just moving on with our lives. So I was fine with that. I'm ready. I'm ready to move on. So I get the paperwork. Now I have to ask for an appointment to see that resource lawyer. Now, like I said, I filed this in September. And back in September, I tried to get an appointment to see that resource lawyer. And I did not get that until I got it, but it was for the 1st of November. So I'm there waiting, and then in the midst of that, I was like, oh, but they said I need a hearing to go see the judge. So I'm like, okay, let me, try to put my foot in. Let me message the court coordinator. Hey, can I get, an appointment to go see the judge for the judge to sign my divorce papers? She's like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. You need to see that resource lawyer first before you can even, make your appointment, before we can even say anything to you. So I'm there waiting, like I cannot do anything. And mind you, I had to have this divorce done by November 15th, or I was in big trouble. And I'll tell you why afterwards. But I'm like, oh my God, am I really gonna get like an appointment for the 15th? And these appointments go all the way like 2-3 weeks back, and they were already filling up for November 1st, the second week. And I'm like, this is like an impossible situation. And I was just praying. I'm like, God, you know what needs to happen, and you know what I need to get done. And so I was just praying. So November 1st comes, I meet with the resource lawyer, and she's like, yeah, you have everything in place. And then my friend, she's a lawyer. She had looked over all my paperwork for me and made sure that I signed everything the way it was supposed to be signed, and I had everything in place. So the resource lawyer, she's like, yes, you get gold stars for how you filled out your paperwork. And she's like, I am gonna go ahead and give you that certificate, and so with that certificate you can now go and make your appointment for that hearing with the judge. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So I had to, she said, also go file your final divorce decree. Go file that, because you need to have that file mark with the stamp before you can go to your hearing. So I did that, and I reached out to the court coordinator. I'm like, hey ma'am, can I get a hearing date for the 15th of November. I'm like, I know it's presumptuous and whatever, and people don't normally ask for dates because you are the one who give them the dates. I'm like, please, may I get a date for November 15th? That lady did not even respond to my message. I'm like, she is not being nice to me right now. So I emailed her again. That's what we do. We follow up. It's called follow up. So I emailed her again. I'm like, ma'am, I'm sorry for emailing you all this, all these times, but I really need that date. I do need that date. And she did not respond again. And then she didn't respond. And I'm like, I wonder if I should go to the courthouse, and wait for her to go on her lunch break so I can ask her for the court date, because the lady's busy. She doesn't care what's going on in my life. She's just doing her job. So I'm there waiting, and then somebody told me something very specific to tell her, and I'll tell you guys later. And I said that to her, and within 2 hours she's like, I can squeeze you in for next week. I'm like, what? And then she went back. She's like, oh, I just realized you didn't file until September 17th, so I can't give you a date until November 17th. I'm like, I will take it. I will take it. Thank you, ma'am. So this past Wednesday on November 17th, I went to court and I talked to the judge. I told him, a lot of the things that were going on. And I showed up by myself, because once we had signed the papers, it's uncontested. So once we sign the papers, we don't need to show up together. So I show up and I'm like, Judge, this is what's going on. We don't plan to get back together, and I'm asking for a divorce. So the judge is like, okay, I'm gonna sign the papers for you. And I was so elated. So one of the questions, before I tell you the questions that I've been asked so far. The next thing the judge said, okay, go downstairs to get the paperwork. And so I go downstairs. I'm like, the judge just sent me for the paperwork. When can I get it? She's like, oh, a couple days from now. I'm like, ma'am, I cannot leave here today without that set of paperwork. And I'll tell you why later on. So she's like, well, I'm sorry, that's how it works. You don't get it right away. You get it when the judge sends it down. So I'm like, God, you know I cannot leave here without that paper. So I marched myself back upstairs and I asked the judge, I'm like, Judge, please, can I get it today? And he's like, well, the bailiff can take you. If they don't have a problem, I don't have a problem. So the bailiff took me downstairs with the paperwork. I had to pay for it. I paid for it, and I'm divorced. And I did ask him to change my name. So I am back to Flemings. I'm now Kenesha Flemings again. I'm excited about that. But some of the questions I've been asked so far, how do you feel? I do feel good. Like I said, it's been a while, so I don't feel sad. I haven't cried. I haven't felt like, oh my God, my life is over and I have to start. No. I feel good. I really do. I feel like a burden has been lifted. I feel free. They asked me, do you feel like a new woman? I do feel like a new woman. Yes. And I'm ready. I'm ready to conquer the world. So my other friend, Felicia, she's like, are you pretending that you're okay? No, I'm not pretending that I'm okay. I am truly okay. I'm at a good place. I'm not saying this is how I will feel next week, but I am at a good place this week. And then the next question is, do you think you'll get married again? Well, if God says yes, I am not gonna say no. So I am still open to love. I'm not jaded. I'm not bitter. I'm not, just falling over myself. Oh, my life is over and I can't move on because I love Kamasha. No, I am moving on. And so, it's just a miracle how this thing came about in 60 days. Who gets divorced in 60 days? God makes it happen for me. So I just want to tell you guys, whatever impossible situation you have going on, just take it to God. Honestly, take it to Him. And if it's His will, He will work it out for you. Just hang on. If you feel like there's something in your life that is never going to work out for how you want it to work out, no, don't be discouraged. Like I said, take it to God and trust God in the midst of it. His timing is not our timing. And when we want to do it, I wanted it done on the 15th. He didn't do it on the 15th. He did it on the 17th. So trust God. And that's all I can tell you to do. And I will be setting up the website so we are going to launch the podcast for next week. But I'll be jumping on and letting you know from time to time. This week was crazy busy, and so that's why I wasn't able to come on to say more to you guys. But I will be launching, and I'll be sending you details for the website. And I am excited. And like I said, if you guys want to share something, your own experience, we can compare notes. And let me know if you want to co-host. Again, happy Sunday. Hope you have a great Monday tomorrow. I'm not really looking forward to Monday tomorrow, but we have to do it anyways. But have a blessed night, y'all, and peace out.